Hello, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back to the Believe in Iowa State podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Carter.
And I'm your host, Cody Van Silem.
Cody. Yeah, that loss was pretty upsetting. Iowa State loses at home to Texas Tech 82-73. Texas Tech hit a season high 14 threes, 14 on 29 for three. They were just hitting every single thing. Like even the contested shots they were making, it was very, very frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, whether it was them hitting, this was just overall very frustrating home loss. And whether it was, Texas Tech making everything, our inability to really rebound in that first half, and then also get to this, the guard play was pretty at best.
Yeah.
It's just I expected better at home. And that you always do. You don't ever expect to lose at home. And that's just what happened. I mean, to really this game was just, they never got out the starting blocks. They got punched in the mouth by Texas Tech, and they didn't recover until it was too late. Texas Tech at one point led this game by 20?
Yeah.
And it never felt like Iowa State was going to be able to get they led at one point by 20 late in the first half, about at halftime. So I mean, at that point, it's like you try to do everything you can if you were Iowa State, but unfortunately, it just wasn't enough because Texas Tech, to their credit, they had a really good game plan. They doubled down on it, and they just wanted it more, and that's just been the theme of Iowa State's loss. It's just teams wanted more. They had more urgency, more desperation than Iowa State.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about? Well, let's talk about the contributors. I think that was a surprise that contributor was Luke Boyer, 6 of 7 from the field, 13 points, and then Donovan Atwell, 6 of 10 from 3. He was a terror yesterday, and just I don't understand why. Like, yes, Christian Anderson struggled yesterday, but the fact that you were leaving guys wide open from three, that was something that we talked about, Cody, that we couldn't have happen, and that's exactly what we did. Some of the key that we had going into this game for both of us was to defend the 3-point line, and the Cyclones didn't do that, and that's very disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, part of it too was just, I think Texas Tech's and what they want to do offensively. It kind of reminds me of BYU because they I think it was just a bad, this turned out to be a really bad matchup for Iowa State because with the way Iowa State likes to ball pressure and double team, if you can get that skip pass and make the shot, that's going to be a disaster. And I think this refers to the fact that Texas Tech has an NBA point guard in Christian Anderson, and then you have some other guys that could be NBA type of players. So that's been the kryptonite of Iowa State. And most of a lot of teams have done the part where they get the extra pass, get the skip pass across the diagonal pass across the court, but they didn't make the shot. In this case, Texas Tech did, and it was effective.
Yeah, man. It's one thing we got to talk about is the offense. The offense is struggling. Yesterday there was a lot of the same problems that we've been talking about all year long about the ball sticking in until the end of the shot clock. There's not a lot of ball movement. For some reason, Killian Torrey has also just been struggling. So I guess with him struggling, do you think now it's time to put in Jermaine Bateman because it seems like now it's just he's good, but his timidity is definitely costing this team, dude. And with a couple of air balls that he put up with shots, that can't help your confidence, man.
Actually, it was funny. I kind of asked this question. So I follow A1 Bracketology, one of the guys, one of the bracketologists on Twitter. He had a Q&A, and I asked these following questions to him. I asked, how far does Iowa State fall in seeding after the loss at home? Does Demarion Bateman need to start over Killian Torrey? And what does Iowa State's guards need to do to help out Joshua Jefferson and Milan Momcilovic on the offensive end? He co-tweeted my tweet, and he said, Iowa State's comfortably a 3 seed. I mean, we're still in the race at the 2 seed, certainly, but we are comfortably a 3, so we don't have to worry about that too much. I think he did mention it's probably a little late in the season to start experimenting with the lineup, but Bateman's looked very good the last couple of weeks. So I think he's less concerned about the guard play than probably us, and obviously it's because he isn't as in deep tune with Iowa State as we are, so we're gonna obviously be more concerned. And he said, like, they'll figure it out. And I think they will. I think it's not a case of, like, for me, you don't start. I think you keep Torrey as the starter, but you probably give more minutes. Like, you get Heisey more minutes. You get Bateman more minutes. And then I know some people are wondering where the heck is Dom Nelson. Here's the thing. If he wasn't playing in January and early February, why do it now?
Can we let that dream die, please? Because if he was good enough to play, he'd be playing. Yeah, so he would stop asking about him because he's not playing. Let it die.
And that's no shade to Dom Nelson or any of these players. No shade, but like, if he wasn't good enough, if the coaches didn't see him good enough to play, then why do you? And then, and we'll use this, like Texas Tech is recently. What do you really get out of Dom Nelson? Because he's not going to shoot. He's not a good shooter. He isn't a good shooter. And, like, yes, he can attack the rim and whatnot, but, like, in this game, you needed to space out the floor more, and you just didn't get that this game. And why bring in a guy who is going to clog up the middle, like, clog up the floor more? You needed to space the offense out, and that, I think, is what was missing. Like, that's what we didn't get in this game. We need more spacing. So, for the Bateman or Torrey thing, I think you give, like, Bateman and Heisey more run, but you still start Torrey. It's like, the start with Torrey is like you kind of figure out, is he going to be able to like contribute that much? You kind of see early on maybe, and then maybe like when you do, and then maybe after like, I don't know, the under 12 or something, you go with like, okay, this is what we're going to do, something like that. So you still start him, but you maybe consider giving more run to Bateman and Heisey. And what I will say, at least Torrey wasn't afraid to shoot the three. Granted, they were not close at all, but he at least wasn't afraid to shoot. Heisey, I was surprised. He didn't shoot a single three.
Yeah, I was very, very surprised about that.
And
I mean, you look at him, he was 1 or 2 from the field, but he didn't shoot any threes.
And between the 4 guards that play, guards want to combine 1 for 11 from 3.
Yeah, we can't have that.
No. And Lipsy went 0 of 3. And so, quite frankly, I mean, I think, like, they'll figure it out. I think they're going to figure this out. For Torrey, this is probably the freshman wall. I wouldn't be surprised. Because we knew about his defense. The offense was definitely going to be a developing thing. It was like he's a raw prospect. So that's probably what that is for him. And I mean, Jermaine Bateman, like, he's not gonna, like, maybe you shouldn't rely as much because he's a freshman, but he has ascended in a way where, like, it can be very helpful. So hopefully you start seeing more offense, like, output from Lipsy and Heisey, because those are your senior guards. Those are guys that should be leading. So you have that. But, I mean, Blake Buchanan had a solid game. Look at Buchanan, 8 points, 11 rebounds, 8 offensive rebounds. So, I mean, at least he was doing his part. In Iowa State, maybe this was a little too late, but the offensive rebounding numbers, 14-9. The total rebounding numbers, are surprised. Yeah, we weren't making shots, and they were. I mean, how are you supposed to rebound when they can't miss? That's just something to note too. But again, if I do have one positive, once again, the free throws are actually better.
I will say that near the end of the season, the free throws are actually getting better, which actually gives me hope about this team. And I guess, like, I was looking at it, and I think we feel a lot better about this team. Because obviously, in the moment, you're going to be a lot more emotional. But, like, once you really, like, reflect on it. And I obviously wanted to ask this. Oh, go ahead.
It's kind of like the analogy of, like, letting things marinate. It's like, if you instantly, like, see, like, yes, instantly, like, seasoning something, like a steak, for example, is nice. But if you let the flavor kind of soak in for, like, overnight or something, you can really get a deeper, like a deeper flavor and, like, even better. So it's kind of like analyzing this game. Yeah, I was absolutely pissed in the moment, like, when I was in this building, but I slept it over, and then I went back and I'm like, okay, these things did fine. It's just, I will say, if Iowa State had if we have an average night of offense, like, let's say Torrey makes one three, Lipsy makes a 3, Heisey makes a 3. That's 10 points right there.
And we would have won the game.
Or maybe not that, but, like, that would have given us like a good, like, chance, a better chance to really crawl back into this game. But that's something I also give credit to. Iowa State did what they could to crawl back in this game.
Yeah, no, when it got points, like 3 points, I'm like, oh, baby, here we go. I'm like, this comeback is about to be insane. But then Texas Tech goes back down and goes on a 10-0 run. I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
it's like that.
So at least it's that. If Iowa State's able to translate that effort into the whole 40 minutes instead of just the second half, Iowa State could be in a much better, like, that. So they still have a pretty solid floor. It's just the ceiling can be either raised or lower based on how they show up with
Yeah,
that, with the urgency.
Right. And with that, that it goes into this question. I guess if you're that type of person that's sort of like in between, no, is it time to change the season expectations for this team?
I think I saw a tweet that said so this is related to Kansas. It said Kansas is the type of team that can either lose in the first weekend or go to the Final Four. I think Iowa State kind of we'll see what they do against Arizona, but I can kind of see them being in that kind of category. It's just they can either lose in the first weekend or go to the Final Four.
Yeah, and I think their ceiling is their floor is round of 32. I think they win their first game, but round of 32, depending on what type of
team we run into.
Seed. Yeah, 7 seed or 6 seed if they're moved down to a 3 seed.
Yeah.
It depends on what they do, and then I also honestly the way that they could rally themselves, and if they just have a good showing tomorrow, even in a loss, this could be the type of team that can make a run into Kansas City. I really do think that they can get some things ironed out and get a really good run in Kansas City and make it to the championship game on Saturday. I mean, now now fan wise, it sort of sucks for everybody that has a hotel rooms booked for Thursday because we all thought we were going to be playing on Thursday. But now that sort of stinks. So hopefully we beat whoever. Who knows? The way the Big 12 is, we never know. It could change all.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to what happens in Tucson. Yeah. That's what it is for Iowa State for the purpose of Iowa State seeding. It comes down to what happens in Tucson, because if you do find a way to beat Arizona, then you can probably put yourself that would make the record similar in terms of common opponents with Kansas.
Yeah.
And we would have the win over Arizona versus their loss.
Yeah, so we're going to look at the standings real quick. And, yeah, Arizona's 14-2. And, we're KU and Iowa State are both 11-5. So, yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, I look at this so the thing is, we talk about, obviously, Texas Tech. On paper, that was just a matchup and disaster with the way Texas Tech shot a lot of threes.
Yeah.
Arizona on paper is a better matchup for Iowa State because what Arizona likes to do, they don't shoot a lot of threes. I mean, even in their blowout win over Kansas, they won that game by 23, but they went 4-16 from the perimeter. So that's obviously not a strength of theirs. But what Arizona likes to do is they like to get it, they move the ball, bounce it outside to then bounce it right back into the paint and get it to a guy like Mo Krivas or Tobe Awaka. And so that's kind of So that's, and then I think I heard this too on Lions of Bloom. Arizona's in the top 5 when it comes to offensive rebounding. So that's going to be a major test for Blake Buchanan and Dominic Espleda to really be physical. Because I think that's something also we were missing in the Texas Tech game. We just weren't physical, whether it was on the glass or even the guards. It just felt like Texas Tech could get into the paint easily, and that's something that I should not be ever seeing out of a TJ Otzelberger style defense. Is you don't let them walk into the paint. That's sometimes we saw that. There were times where we just gave up the bucket too easily. So
yeah,
that's something that I think TJ. I'm assuming today they probably flew down today to Tucson. But I'd assume there had to have been something. They're going to probably go over that probably tomorrow morning, and shoot around. I think he wants to really hammer that home. It's you got to be physical. You got to make it challenging for these guys. You can't just let them, walk all over you.
Right. And let's talk about and get deeper into this matchup. We're going to go and do a deep dive into Arizona, and I'm going to share my screen. We're going to look at the analytics going into our guy, Evan Maya. Thinking of Evan Maya. We're going to go right here. Let's go and look at Arizona.
Arizona, obviously, they've with the win against Kansas, they clinched at least a share of the Big 12 regular season title. So that's without a question. Obviously, you mentioned Iowa State and whatever in that Texas Tech loss. I mean, this effectively killed Iowa State's chances to win the regular season title. And you mentioned there's you have nothing to lose basically. I mean, there's still a lot on the plate, in terms of like seeding in Kansas City and in the NCAA tournament. But if you're looking at it, particularly for like at least for the Big 12, like you're playing with house money, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about? Because I know there's like a lot of people who like were definitely just upset because I know a lot of people do want a regular season title.
Yeah,
Like it, and it's been 25 years, so
right.
I definitely get the
I
sentiment.
think we all do, and for sure. But like now, it's like you can't worry about that now. Like, yeah, it sucks you didn't get it,
It
but
sucks that
like,
we didn't get it, but we still
but
have the
but
NCAA.
you can't just sit in your ass and mope about it. You got to move on to the next game. And I'm hoping that's probably something that like obviously they talk about because it's never good to lose at home. I was like, okay, you get a chance to go in Arizona and really right because I think if Iowa State finds a way to beat Arizona,
Yeah.
you can probably wipe a lot, if not the entirety of this Texas Tech loss.
Oh, you definitely can. Yeah, you go that, and when you win against Arizona and Arizona State, finish the year 26-5, 13-5. Yeah, I'd take that.
Yep, and we'll see how that seeding plays out. But yeah, I mean, looking to Arizona, you've obviously got the star freshman and Koa Pete, who did return after
Yeah,
he was out a couple games of injury against Kansas. He had 12.7 rebounds and 5 assists against the Jayhawks. Um, Braden Burries, another phenomenal freshman, he had 20 points and 12 rebounds in this game, in their previous game. Ivan Karchenkov, a slept on utility guy or slept on like role player, 11
yeah,
points, 6 rebounds. Mo Krivos, who we mentioned earlier, 13 points and 10 rebounds. He also that includes 5 and 5 between offensive and defensive rebounds. Jaden Bradley with 10 points, and then Tobe Awaka and Anthony Delorso, two guys who regularly see the floor, did their part. 9 points for Delorso, 8 for Awaka. He also put in 6 rebounds. So, yeah, looking at Arizona, they just are clear. There's no doubt that this is a huge game for Iowa State, and this is probably going to be like one like this is going to be like obviously it's not going to be easy to go into Tucson, but if there is a matchup that I like, and we talked about this earlier, that can on paper be good for Iowa State, it's this matchup against Arizona.
oh yeah. Oh, getting in the paint and like this. If you like basketball like this, where it's gonna be a fight on the boards, this is gonna be your type of game. We're gonna take a look at the offensive and defensive ratings. Um, let me not do that.
Yeah.
I was that
Yeah.
wouldn't have been.
Yeah, you
Oh,
hit the
okay.
yeah, there you go. So, Arizona top 3 on the Evan Meyer rankings, I believe. I had to go look at Ken Palm real quick, but I would
Yeah,
assume
their offense on MMI, their offensive ranking is 7. Their defensive ranking is 3. Their true tempo is a 71.9. Tempo rank is 24th in the nation. Injury rank is 3rd. Home rank is 49th. Roster rank is 6th, and then their kill shots per game is 1.07. And as you go deeper in, it will go. It has their Bayesian offensive and defensive rating, and then their total Bayesian player rating. So obviously, the highest rated player is Braden Burries at 8.69.
yeah. And I mean that's not like this is an overall really good lineup, and I've said
Yeah.
this repeatedly. This is Tommy Lloyd's best shot to win a national title at Arizona. This team right
Mm-hmm.
here. I mean, just all around the depth that they have and like what they have. I mean, Mo Krivos. He's a 7'2", 260 center from Lithuania. So
Yeah, insane.
that's gonna be a very fun like watch. And I mean, he's definitely been a fun watch. Like as a big. Aiden Bradley, we're familiar with Braden Burries. Like he's got a really good game. Cool, Pete, the main guy. But again, Arizona's got it, and they are 14. They are 27-2 and 14-2 in the Big 12 for a reason. There's a
Yeah.
reason there. They have the record that they do. Like we got to go on the roll. Like we have to go to like the list of teams they've beaten on the way up to this point. Win over number 3 Florida, who is now gunning for a 2 seed.
Uh-huh.
UConn in Storrs, Connecticut, who's gunning for a 1 seed. Auburn, that one hasn't really aged well, but again, it was a ranked, they destroyed them. Alabama, they wrecked shop on them. They did hold off BYU in the Marriott Center. Did lose to Kansas and Texas Tech, but then rebounded with wins over ranked BYU and Houston, and then just dog walk Kansas.
Yeah, so I mean, this team is definitely national championship worthy. It's just that with Arizona, like in the past, we've seen in the past that they've. I mean, and I don't even think they've had any of this caliber, but every time that Arizona has been a higher seed, they've always like crapped out and like either got upset in the first round or like don't make it as far as they're supposed to.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think they usually like will bow out. Their ceiling has been like the Sweet 16 these past few years.
Yeah,
But it's the depth. They have the depth to actually want. So this is gonna be one where like if you're like Arizona, they're gonna look to pretty much wrap up the Big 12 regular season title against Iowa State. If you're Iowa State, like what I would need to see out of them is like there's got to be a like TJ Altenberger talked about this in the post game conference. They mentioned like well, urgency. Iowa State was not urgent enough in this game against Texas Tech, so they better be urgent in this game against them. Like, because it's like if you don't, you're gonna get probably walked by Arizona.
yep,
If you have the game that you did against Texas Tech, imagine what Arizona's gonna do to you. And they don't even have to shoot threes.
well, that's the thing. Yeah.
And I mean, TJ's even taking the blame for just the horrible, like the bad rebounding. So we mentioned it repeatedly, and I mean, it's true. This is something that's gonna be big. Is can Dom Plata and Blake Buchanan able to handle, and not even just handle, can they be the bully in the paint? Can they do that?
It's gonna look. This is going to be their toughest task of the year, Cody. Going against Mo Krivas and Toby Awaka. Toby Awaka is a beast on the board. You're gonna have to out physical him.
Yeah, not just that. Not just that, like the 50-50 balls.
Yeah,
you gotta
man.
get those. That's
there were
something.
So many 50-50 balls yesterday that we didn't get.
Yeah. So you gotta get that, and then like the rebounding thing. Yeah, we mentioned being strong. Sometimes you just gotta go back to the basics. Like I love like when the tip outs work, but we haven't been getting those deflection tip outs. So if you're like, you gotta sometimes just gotta go back to basics. Get two hands on the basketball and hold on to it for dear life.
Yeah, can we stop tipping it out? Just grab the rebound, please.
I mean, the tip outs are good if they work. We've just been getting those lately. But I mean, when Iowa State gets those tip out rebounds, we get another possession. That's when it's good. It's when we don't get them, that's when it's bad. So I mean, the tip outs in theory can work, so as long as you're the one getting it. And that's why maybe we haven't been liking the tip outs lately, because we just haven't been getting them. And that's also a part of the effort, the urgency. So that's gonna also fall on the guards. Is like we gotta see a step up from somebody. We gotta see a step up. I know what Bama's gonna bring. We gotta see it out of like Torrey. He's a freshman, so I won't expect it out of him. We gotta see it out of Taman Lipsey and Nate Heisey, because those two have 2 regular season games left.
What matchups are you looking forward to seeing in this game?
Give me. I would guess it's either. I'm trying to think. Who would match up on Koa Pete? Probably be Jefferson. It'd be Joshua Jefferson and Koa Pete.
Yeah.
That's probably the main one I'm looking at. Guard wise, I would have to see who's on Burries. I want to see who's on Burries, whether it's Taman, Torrey, Heisey, or Bateman. It's whoever matches up against Braden Burries, and then who matches up against Jaden Bradley. And then speaking of Heisey, Bateman, like hopefully we can start getting more contributions from the bench. That's the thing, because we didn't get much bench contributions in the loss as well.
That's the thing that sort of worries me, but I think yesterday may have just been hoping that it's just an outlier and this is not like a reoccurring issue right before March comes. Yeah. But let's go into our 3 keys to the game. Cody, what is it going to take for Iowa State to win tomorrow?
We've been hammering it a lot. Number 1, you got to be more fit. You got to have that urgency you got to be urgent. That you've got to be able to play your best ball from tip off, because what Iowa State didn't do and ultimately led to loss, we didn't knock out Texas Tech in the first 5 minutes. They got comfortable, and what do? They lit us up from the perimeter. So we got to find a way to make Arizona uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and then and that goes into my second key is being physical. We mentioned it. We got to be physical in the paint, but also we cannot let Arizona just easily waltz into the paint. We got to put bodies, and we got to make life more difficult in the paint, because that's where they're going to feast. That's where they're going to do a lot of their work. That's how they beat these teams, is like They get it in the paint. They move it around to get it in the paint. So, not letting things get into the paint as easily as we kind of let things did at times against Tech. And then number 3, you're going in there. You're gonna have some demons to exercise. So you're gonna have a lot of things like the perimeter shooting. You gotta start seeing that. I need to see like Lipsy kind of be like, all right, I've had enough of it like this. We cannot be looking like this in the March. Because Lipsy's been here all 4 years, and he will have nothing more than to like really go far. He wants to go farther. So we need to see that out of the guards. It's like some better guard play. It's like really help out the spacing by making a couple threes. You don't have to go lights out from the perimeter, but 1 or 2 really allows the floor to be spaced out. And then there, you can help out Joshua Jefferson and Milo Momcilovic a lot more.
Yeah, I agree. I know for me, my 3 keys. Number 1 is to dictate the glass. But you got Toby Owaka and Mo Krivas is going to be the toughest task that Plata and Buchanan have had so far this year, besides Floyd Badunga. But you want to talk about the game of your life? They both need to have the game of their lives tomorrow. Because Arizona's going to want to come in here and do what they did to Kansas. Like, imagine you saw what we did to Kansas. Look at what we can do to Iowa State. They're going to try to 30-piece us tomorrow. So we can't have that happen, man. Like, we got to make sure we come in ready to go, banging on the boards. So bang on the boards, number 1. Number 2 is force Arizona. Like, if we're able to contain them inside, I don't think we'll be able to stop them. But if we can contain them inside, force Arizona to shoot jump shots. Because, like you said, they're not a good 3-point shooting team at all. So if you force them to go to the perimeter and make shots, they can't do it.
Yeah.
So
and unless Arizona shows it to me, they're not going to be making the shots Texas Tech did.
Right.
Unless it happens, which I'll be damned if it happens again. But yeah, you force them to take much more difficult shots because there were times where guys were just wide open, and I think part of it was like that defense that I think has like always received criticism, but like it's why NBA teams don't like to play the defense Iowa State plays is because you get that skip pass and a guy's wide open, he makes a 3, and you guys in the NBA make that like open 3 on a regular basis, so it's like I don't see it. So, and this also like kind of gives me a quick take about like we're not going to change our identity. We're not going to change what got us to this point. We're 24-5. We're 11-5 in the Big 12. We're not going to all of a sudden change what we did, like what got us to this point because Texas Tech just happened to be prime Golden State mixed in with Larry Bird and Ray Allen from the perimeter. Mm-hmm. So that's not going to change. So that also just goes into like my first point, the urgency. So yeah, so overall, that's what I need to see. But this doesn't mean like, and then this is just going to go right into our predictions. I'm still gonna have Arizona win this game.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't surprise but I would like to at least hopefully see that Iowa State makes it competitive. I think they will make this competitive, but I'm still taking the Wildcats to win this one and basically wrap up the regular season title.
Yeah, I have them winning the regular season conference title.
Yep. And fun thing, this is from Circa Sports. Iowa State is a 7.5-point underdog going into Tucson. So
at Hammer Iowa State.
Well, I'm guessing they must still like Iowa State. They must like that matchup. So I may do that too. But listen, I wouldn't be shocked if we lose by 20. I also wouldn't be shocked if we win this game.
Me neither. That's just how Iowa State operates.
Pretty much.
It's not something that we don't know. It's just as fans, we've seen it.
Here's the bonus thing. And I'm pretty sure everybody's talked about it. Joshua Jefferson, Milo Momcilovic, Taman Lipsy, and Nate Heise were on the team last year when Iowa State had to be the victims of the 3/4 court shot by Caleb Love and lost that game as a result of that. So I bet that's somewhere in their minds too. It's like, okay, we're walking into a building. It's around the same time last year when we lost that game because of it. And I've said this too, and I hope TJ, I don't know if TJ will actually do this, but it would be the most actually great thing if TJ they have the team, like they go do a shoot around, but there aren't any basketballs. It's just a projector and chairs, and on loop, it's just a Caleb Love shot for like the first half hour. Put that on loop. See who gets annoyed by it, and use that as a reason, as urgency, so that to really dictate this game, so that way you don't fall into that trap again and lose this game 2 years in a row in Tucson.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how the clones come into there. All right. in our last segment of the show, we were going to talk and go across the chaotic Big 12 and the national slate.
I mean, before we talk about that, we've been talking about Taylor Lipsey, and obviously his jersey number being number 3. If there was one thing of good news that came out of that Texas Tech game yesterday, outside the free throw shooting, Melvin Ejim's jersey will be in the rafters next season.
That is great. He deserves it, man. He won Big 12 Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So I remember that 48-point game that he had against TCU.
Yep. So they announced that at literally like the first, like they announced this during the first media timeout, and I was like, wait, what? They actually did it. Now, this doesn't mean they're going to be retiring the number. It's not that, but they're just going to acknowledge the contribution that Melvin Ejim had. And wouldn't it be the funniest thing to do is to reveal, like, to do that ceremony against BYU?
Yeah, it would.
Oh, man. But, like, anyways, yeah, what a great thing to see Melvin Ejim being honored. So it's nice. It's a nice thing to see. And I know a lot of people are going to be asking, what about Pfizer, Tinsley, Niang, and all that? I think their day is going to come soon, but this is about Melvin Ejim.
Right. And he got it mainly because he graduated from there.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, right. So, with that out of the way, I think all the Iowa State, Texas Tech, Arizona talk was out of the way, all that. Yeah. We want to talk about the Big 12. Let's go ahead and do that. While,
buddy.
This was a very, this was actually this was a pretty fun Big 12 slate, if you ask me.
Sure was.
Yep. So, okay. What's the screen? Presented. So first off, yeah, we've been talking about this. Kansas goes to the McHale Center and they get pounded by Arizona by 23. Braden Burries led the team, led Arizona with 20 points. Darren Peterson led Kansas with 24 points. We mentioned the inside game. Yeah, let's just say Flory Badunga got put on lockdown. Only 2 points, 1 of 5 from the floor, 4 rebounds. Bryson Tiller, 2 points, 2 rebounds off of 1 of 6 shooting. So, yeah, they could not get anything going in the paint. Meanwhile, yeah, we mentioned Arizona. They dictated the paint. Mo Krivas, Toby Awaka. So, I mean, that was just the story of this game. And, yeah, that was the story of that game. Houston, okay. How do I best describe this? How do you even describe this game?
I mean, Houston took out their frustrations on them like we all knew they would. Like,
yeah,
and that's exactly what it was. They're an angry team, and you got they 40 points to our opponent.
Off of 3 straight losses for Houston. Colin Sampson, let's just say he took that streak personal, like the old MJ meme. And yeah, the funny thing was Colorado led this game 14-9 at the under 16 timeout.
Wow.
And then, yeah, so after that, 13-9 actually. So after that, win by 40. So, yeah, that thing was an absolute bloodbath. Cincinnati, they just mopped the floor with Oklahoma State. So, I mean, Cincinnati, they're finding themselves. They've got some nice wins under their belt. Mustafa Cham feasted in the paint, 24 points, 15 rebounds. Dede Thomas, 7 of 11 from 3. So you can make all the 7-11 jokes you want there. Jizzle James and Bob Miller with 11 points each. So, yeah, Cincinnati, man, yeah. Oklahoma State, they are deep in the mud, and Cincinnati might find themselves in the NCAA tournament. Who knows? Arizona State beats Utah by 13. I mean, there's really not much to say about this one. It's I described that game as an ass-off.
That's basically what it is.
TCU beats Kansas State, so TCU basically beats up on a dead corpse. So they just got another win, so they're trying to get into the NCAA tournament. Baylor goes on the road and beats UCF. Now, normally, like, on paper, maybe it doesn't have importance, but to Iowa State, it kind of did. Because UCF was kind of creeping up as potentially a team who could get a double bye. So this loss kind of helps Iowa State in a way. Because, yes, Iowa State does have the tiebreaker over UCF. So, but, I mean, it's nice to ensure that you don't have to worry about them. I'm not worried about TCU or, like, BYU getting, like, that spot. Because, I mean, it's just a matter of can Iowa State take care of business to get that double bye. But... well, speaking of BYU, yikes.
Yeah, they have been on a slide lately ever since beating Iowa State. West Virginia goes and gets them at home, 79-71.
And like this is no disrespect to West Virginia, but BYU, how did you let West Virginia score 79? I believe West Virginia ranks among the bottom of the conference in offensive out like in points scored.
It's insane, man. That's the Big 12 for you.
Yeah, because looking at their last, okay, they put up 84. Yeah, like they put up 84 against Oklahoma State, but both teams were not great. Only 54, 56, 74. Yeah, I mean West Virginia on paper doesn't really like do that great. They're good defensively, but they're not world beaters on offense. But they somehow found a way against BYU.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean that was just now is your Big 12 weekend for you. Well, while we're still talking about them, obviously big Monday, Iowa State heads down to Tucson to take on Arizona. I'm presuming Arizona's still going to be number 2. And I'm curious, where do you find Iowa State after what we've been seeing? Where does Iowa State kind of go? Like, obviously, the AP poll at this point is not going to worry me.
Oh, let's see. They were number 4 on Saturday, and they lost to the number, what
16.
8?
Texas Tech was number 16.
Oh. They'll probably move down to 7 or 8.
So they'll still be top 10 matchup. That's
still be top 10. You can't punish them for that.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it was a home loss. You shouldn't be losing at home, but like Texas Tech, I mean, like if you see the stat sheet, it's like you gotta at least understand. It's like okay, they beat 14. It's like, yeah, not many teams are gonna beat a team who shoots 58% from the field and basically 50% from 3.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. So I mean, Big Monday, it writes itself. Iowa State probably I think Iowa State. Yeah, we mentioned it needs to come in more desperately, but this is a big stage, so I mean it's eerily similar to what happened in similar circumstances. But I mean, I'm tuning into this one obviously, and this should be a fun game. I expect this to be a fun game.
It will be. It's gonna be a blast. All right, we're gonna take a look at the national.
We got Tuesday Big 12 action. You mentioned it. TCU heads to Lubbock to take on Texas Tech. We'll see how Texas Tech handles TCU coming off the win at Iowa State. Oklahoma and UCF. Oklahoma State and UCF. Both teams coming off losses. UCF fighting to get into the tournament. West Virginia, Kansas State. Is there really much to look into for this game? I don't think so. Kansas at Arizona State. We'll see how Kansas rebounds from getting 20-pieced in Tucson. BYU heads to Cincinnati. This is kind of a sleeper game, and low-key Cincinnati could find a way to win this game. And then Colorado, Utah. I don't have much for that. And then Baylor heads to Houston. I'm going to assume Houston kills Baylor.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, you mentioned you mentioned it a little bit earlier. Yeah, the national slate. I guess we'll start Thursday?
Yeah, we'll go Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Yes. So the main game for Thursday, not last Thursday, number 13 Michigan at number 8 Purdue. Michigan State wins this game 76-74, and I mean Michigan State finds themselves firmly in the top 4, which will get them, I believe, a triple bye in the Big Ten tournament. These conferences, man.
You know how these buys work, man. To be honest with you,
and it's just basically if you're in the top 4, you're going to get the most amount based on how the tournament's set up. So it's not.
Wow, gotcha.
Yeah, or something like that. So top 4. Okay, so in the Big Ten, top 4 get a triple bye. The next 4 get a double. And then I think it's the next 4 will get a single. It's something like that.
And then the next 4 will be playing in.
Yeah. So you have that. And then on Friday, you had number 21 Miami of Ohio surviving at Western Michigan. This game ended 69-67, which is really a really nice score, by the way. Miami of Ohio gets that off a walk-off layup. I believe it's Tyler Perry. Yeah. Trey Perry. Walk-off winner, the layup to survive and remain undefeated. Miami of Ohio is 29 on the year, 16-0 on the MAC. So we'll see if they can continue that undefeated run. And then in Champaign, number 3 Michigan goes into Champaign, Illinois, and beats the Fighting Illini 84-70. And Michigan they've already secured the Big Ten title. I believe they clinched the outright with this game.
Outright, yeah.
Yeah. Yaxel Lenenborg with 16 points. Morris Johnson Jr., who, well, for context, if you're a Illini fan, was a former Fighting Illini, went to Michigan, and let's say Morris Johnson Jr. kind of got similar to the Tyrese Hunter treatment we gave him when he came back to Hilton with Texas.
Yeah.
And, Morris Johnson Jr. was on the winning side of things, 19 points, 11 rebounds. Dave Mara, 19 points as well, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And, I mean, the bench also contributed. LJ Kaysen with 9 points, Trey McKinney with 6. And so Michigan, once again, getting it done. They're still proving that they are, in fact, a top team. They're trying to lock up a 1 seed at this point.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna take a look across the national slate and now go to Saturday.
Yeah. Yep. So number 1 Duke, they take care of business against what was an anticipated matchup in the ACC. I think they've clinched at least a share of the ACC title with this win over Virginia, 77-51, and the least Cameron Boozer and Isaiah Evans, 18 points for Cam Boozer, 19 for Isaiah Evans, respectively. Duke just take care of business, and they confirmed their status as the top team in the country, and they're looking to get back to the Final Four and win a national title. Number 6, UConn survives a scare against Seton Hall in Stores, Connecticut. Alex Caravan led the Huskies with 23 points, and I mean, Seton Hall, they made this a game. They were up 8 with about 8 minutes to go, but UConn is able to win, to really crawl back and then win this game. So they survive that game, and I mean, they are basically looking to be that final number 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean, let's take a look. You see, Florida is all like you said, vying for that number 1 seed, and for the last time, St. Mary's edges out Gonzaga to get a share of the West Coast Conference title.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy to think that. Wait a minute, no. Uno reverse. St. Mary's beat them.
Well, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought I heard the other way, but yeah, St. Mary's just wow. Gonzaga, I don't know. Do I really Gonzaga? Basically, they win this game. They pretty much win the West Coast outright. But I mean, St. Mary's was not playing around. Mikey Lewis, 31 points. I'm at a 13 from 3.
Wow.
So he had the team on his back, basically. As St. Mary's So I mean, St. Mary's is definitely gonna be a team that gives problems, and I mean, who knows? Maybe St. Mary's can be a that second team out of the West Coast. Santa Clara, I don't know if they're gonna make it, but
yes,
but I could see St. Mary's honestly get that auto bid because we know Gonzaga is gonna be in the tournament. But I'm curious, where would you put St. Mary's if they were to get that auto bid out of the West Coast Conference?
I'd put them probably as a 6 or 7 seed, especially if you and put them in a region where they think the 2 seed is weak.
Yeah. And then number 12, Nebraska beats USC 82-67. But I mean, Tyler, man, that's not even the main story about USC. We can talk about this. Let's go.
It is. Bryce Hanford with 32 points, and Iowa fans are definitely kicking themselves.
I mean, and Nebraska wants to get back at them when they meet up, but that's not even the main story that came out of what happened with US. That's not even the main story about this. We saw this about an hour or so ago. We were talking about this in the pregame. Chad Baker-Mazara, old friend of Iowa State from his time at Auburn, has been officially it looks like he's been kicked off the USC Trojans team. And oh man, I am so glad this old ass dude is gone, and it's time for him to go hit up LinkedIn. It's time for you to get a job, man.
Yep. No, I agree.
How much, I know he was on Auburn. How much did you hate him when you had to play him as a Florida fan?
Yeah, I hated him.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to give specifics, I mean, the floor is yours.
Chad Baker-Mazara is an agitator. Obviously, y'all remember he had those insane fake injuries in the Maui game, and then they made that hellacious comeback and win in Maui over us last year. He's a pest. He's maybe, if I could maybe do a player comp, his player comp defensively is probably like a Dylan Brooks, probably. So
I can see that.
I think it's just the fact that he's a pest and he'll mix it up with you. I think is what annoys people.
Yeah. And then it's just the fact that dude is 20. The main thing I think a lot of people are annoyed at is the fact he was 26 years old, still playing college ball. I mean, we have probably a lot of 25, 26-year-olds playing in college ball. I mean, for God's sakes, we got guys that got drafted to the NBA trying to come back to college basketball. We had that seen it this year. James Najee, Charles Bediako are the two I name off the top of my head. There's probably others that are trying to do the same. If I had to, like, Chad Baker-Mazara, like, in the one we had, like, I was hearing him, he kind of reminds me of, like, Jordan Mohannon in his 6th year or whatever. It's on the, like, maybe that's just me. This is probably just me. He was probably about as annoying to me as Jordan Mohannon. So,
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, like, those two were just so, and those Auburn teams, I feel like that Auburn team was more Janai Broom. That was more Janai Broom. And who was it? Kelly, like, what's his first name? I can't think of his name. First name, Kelly.
Yeah, I forgot what his first name is.
Yeah, and then Tahad Pettiford. I feel like, I mean, Chad Baker did his thing, but that team was more led by Janai Broom. Janai Broom was the main show on that Auburn team that went to the Final Four.
Mm.
It is sweet poetic justice that Chad Baker-Mazara is forced to do what all of us average people have to do and go find a job on LinkedIn.
You have to find a job now.
Yeah, so that brought a smile to my face when I saw that tweeted earlier this evening. Okay. Another similar face for Iowa State. They rebound from that loss against UConn, 89-57 against Villanova. So a firm second in the conference.
Yeah.
I mean, in St. John's, I think they're trending in the right direction. So I don't know if I want to be facing them again. We'll have to see how it all works out. Alabama survives a last-minute last-second attempt by Tennessee to try to tie the game. 71-69 in Knoxville. Alabama beats Tennessee. Tennessee, I talked with a couple of guys who are Tennessee fans, and it's just like, damn, they can't, like, they have a good program, but they just can't seem to get over the hump. I know you know this, but for those who aren't familiar, Tennessee has never made it to a Final Four. They've gone as high as the Elite Eight, but they have not gone to a Final Four ever, which on paper sounds surprising,
right?
Given how consistently good Tennessee is. But I mean, yeah, Alabama is trying to we'll see how they do in the SEC. I mean, they're trying to jockey for position in the SEC tournament. I mean, that bumped them up. I mean, let's see, 2 games behind Florida. We'll get to them in a bit. Alabama finishes their season off at Georgia and against Auburn, so we'll see what happens there. Huge win for them to kind of like try to get a better seed in March. North Carolina wins. They get a win over Virginia Tech, 89-82. So North Carolina, they're trying to boost up their resume as much before they have to head to Cameron Indoor Stadium to take on number 1 Duke. They do get Clemson before that for their senior day. Henry Vasar in that game against Virginia Tech led the Tar Heels with 26 points. St. Louis of the Billikens out of the A-10. They get a win over Duquesne, so they had lost a couple of games, but they are trying to keep it arm's length. They had lost to Rhode Island Dayton past couple of weeks, but they get a win over Duquesne. They finished their season off against Loyola Chicago and George Mason, trying to wrap up the regular season title in the A-10. I believe they do that. So, man, wouldn't it be fun to watch Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the NCAA tournament? Because the coach. I remember, speaking of him, Robbie Avila led the Billikens with 23 points in that game. And I remember that Indiana State, like when he was at Indiana State with his coach, who's also with the Billikens, they had lost to Drake in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament championship game, and they got screwed out. I was like, wait, they got screwed out? Because that was such a great year for them. I was surprised. Yeah. Louisville falls to Clemson, 80-75 at Clemson, and then Kentucky beats Vanderbilt by 14. So Kentucky trying to do what they can to really they get a ranked win, so that kind of helps them. This isn't a ranked matchup, but I kind of had to laugh when I was watching this game. I watched the end of this game with my friends on my group when we were waiting to get into the Texas Tech game. Iowa loses at Penn State.
That was a bad loss. That was a very, very bad loss for Iowa. It's like take a shot at their tournament contest. I was laughing just like that.
No. Here's the thing, too. And I want to go on this real quick. Like, I saw Iowa fans were, like, tweeting at us after we had lost to Texas Tech. And I'm like, how can I take you guys seriously when you just lost to Penn State the same day a couple hours ago? So I'm like, what? So I made a tweet, obviously, and, like, this obviously, like, this is just a meme that I know. I made a meme related to Iowa State basketball. This one dude, like, this one Hawkeye fan said, like, it's like Iowa State versus without the refs. And obviously, these Hawkeye fans are going to, like, suck off each other. Slightly not family-friendly, but they do that all the time. it wasn't even that good of a tweet. I'm like, that wasn't even what I was like going for. In the context of Texas Tech, we had shot way more free throws than Texas Tech did, and we still lost that game because they couldn't miss a three and we couldn't get stops. So the rest, but you know what? Speaking of the rest, man, that foul on Taman Lipsey, it wasn't even the call itself. It was a theatrics that I had to witness. Dude, that was maddening. And well, you want to guess who was on that officiating crew?
Tony Padilla.
Yeah, our old buddy Tony Padilla. Let's just say he's one of those like think of it like as if this was pro wrestling and he was like a heel, right?
Yeah.
The guy everybody hates. He just lit like it's the theatrics that like I think more people are annoyed with. I don't know Chris Williams. He was talking about this. They had a whole set like the whole round that's on what was it Bloom earlier like today. They were talking about this and I'm like, okay. Like what's up with like it, I swear at this point Tony Padilla just has something against Iowa State because do you remember when that technical foul got called on Keyshawn Gilbert? Because which game was that?
What the game?
The Keyshawn Gilbert technical?
Thought it was.
It might have been Arizona, maybe. I know he did our game against Arizona last year.
Right.
So I mean that was ridiculous, but I mean he basically was dancing around doing the cha-cha slide, calling that foul on Lipsey. And this is me obviously biased. That call on Lipsey was horrible. That was bad. That was the wrong call, but it's just the theatrics of it. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you know, you're doing a job as a ref. Like, you aren't supposed to be known. Your name isn't supposed to be known to the public. But here we are. I mean, yeah, I don't know. But that thing just blew like that. Thing was like that was just a part of the cauldron of like anger that I have for that game.
Yeah.
So, anyways. But yeah, I do not want to hear it from Iowa fans laughing at us about like they're talking about like, oh look, we don't have the refs. Yeah, I don't want to hear when two of our losses are to the two of the bottom three teams in the Big Ten, Maryland and Penn State.
Right.
And don't even give me the excuse they were road games either. Those are games you're supposed to be winning.
Exactly.
Those are games you take care of business of. If you're trying, so I don't know where Iowa's like seeding is going to be. They might still be on the 8-9 line, but that might lower their seeding a bit.
Yeah, I might lower it into like a 10 seed.
Oh God, 10 seed. Oh boy. But yeah, I just kind of had to laugh at that. But we also had some results from earlier in the day, earlier today. Number 13, Michigan State walks into Assembly Hall. It takes care of Indiana. Michigan State is probably gunning for a 2 seed potentially. Trying to gun for the 3 seed. And speaking of 2-3 seeding, number 8 Purdue falls to Ohio State in Columbus.
Wow.
So Ohio State gets a much needed win to give themselves a shot to get into the NCAA tournament. After that loss to Iowa, I want like Ohio State fans probably like they were probably not in the highest of moods, seeing that they have Purdue coming up, but they did find a way to win that game.
Yeah.
And it came down to contributions. Bruce Thornton, 20 points for them, but John Mobley Jr. led the team with 21 points that game. You also had Amari Bynum with 14, Devin Royal with 12. Meanwhile, for Purdue, Aiden Smith with 20 points, Fletcher Lawyer with 15, DJ Cox with 13, Trey Kaufman running with 19, and I mean, once again, I'm glad we didn't get Oscar Clough. He only put up 2 points in this game. So I don't know if that really has, like, I don't know if that, like, that impacts Iowa State as much, because I don't think that Purdue game, like, the win is still going to matter, but I don't think these losses are going to impact Iowa State as much.
Well, yeah, because that one is a quad 1 loss, so they won't.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, that's still going to be a quad 1 win for Iowa State, so that's not.
Yeah,
really...
for sure, yeah.
So, I mean, well, it's officially March 1st, and you know what everybody's playing now. We are ready. Like, the calendar turned to March 1st, and I mean, real quick, what a great, like, I mean, I got to give a shout out. The Iowa State women, real quick, they played a game. They played against Kansas State today, and they find a way to, like, this was a really wild, this is a wacky game. Like, this is the roller coaster Iowa State's, the women's team has been on the last couple of games, where one quarter they look like a top 10 team, the next they don't look great. Because this is the breakdown. Like, this is the first and second quarters for Iowa State. 26 points in the first quarter, only 11 points in the second quarter. And I mean, I'm glad, like, and that's kind of a pattern that we saw, and that's how, like, Iowa State's lost the last couple of games. They lost at TCU by giving up 31 points in the fourth quarter. TCU went on a 22-4 run in that game, and then against Oklahoma State, that they gave up 28 points in the fourth quarter because that game was tied like the first, second, and third quarters. but they just ran out of gas. It was nice to see the ladies be able to really take care of Kansas State. And I mean, crucially, that also gives them a first round bye. So they won't be playing until, I believe, well, let's see, Thursday. So they play on Thursday. So that's big. I mean, this game, this was vintage Audie Crooks. 41 points in this game. It's the fourth time, I think, in her career or this season.
Wow.
She was efficient from the floor. This is the Audie Crooks that was an All-America candidate in the beginning of the season. This is the Audie Crooks I think we need. Very efficient from the floor. 16 to 19 from the floor. Also got 13 rebounds in this game. Jada Williams, 7-11 from the floor. 2 of 4 from 3. 9 assists. And then Addie Brown, 7 points, 3 assists, so not too bad from her. Kenzie Hare with 9 points, including 3 important threes. But one thing I do kind of have concern for, 24 turnovers. That's got to be something that needs to be patched up in Kansas City. Like, that's got to be fixed. Cannot turn the ball over 24 times and expect to win many games. So we'll have to see what they do in Kansas City. And I don't know, maybe, I mean, I guess Iowa State's on that 8-9 line, but if they are, then I don't like their chances because I don't want to, if you're like for the women's side of basketball, you don't want to end up as an 8-9 seed because the 1 and the 2 seeds in the women's basketball for the most part,
yeah,
they just run roughshod over everybody. Like this is the murderer's row on like that's gunning for the 1 line. UConn, UCLA, South Carolina, Texas are among the top 4, and that's not a top 4 I want to have to deal with. Vanderbilt's at 5, so the 1 and the 2 seeds are very dangerous. Like they can just run you, they just run you at the gym.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that solid analysis, Cody. We are now gonna end the show. We've gone over an hour today, so thank you guys for listening. A big thanks to FanDuel, who is a presenting sponsor of ours for this podcast. Thank you for trusting and believe. All right, we are going to show you guys our social medias: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch. And then we are also can be found. I can be found at Twitter at SciTiGuy, and Cody can be found at Twitter at Teenage Burner. Okay, that will conclude tonight's show. For Tyler Carter
and for Cody Metsilov,
this is the Believe in Iowa State podcast. Roll Clones.
Go Cyclones.
All right.